Hey, what's going on everybody? JP here, and welcome back to another video. And this is part 2 of our radio install series and giveaway sponsored by Midland Radios. So they were so gracious enough to send us some radios for our Jeep, the RV, and some handhelds. So we are now doing the install for the RV. In the first video, I did a full install of the MXT400 in our Jeep, and after ripping out my CB radio here in the RV, I'm also putting in a MXT400. So that's going to go here in the RV, so we'll be able to talk between the RV and the Jeep. So that way, in case we might decide to not always drive or not always tow the Jeep behind the RV, so that way we'll have communications between both while we're driving. Also, if we take the Jeep off-road and if Jordana stays back here with the kids and I go explore for a little bit, I can still talk back and forth if we don't have cell phone service. A couple of things about this. I'm going to be using the Ghost antenna. This is their little antenna. And then I'm using, obviously, their antenna wire. The reason why this video took a little while to get moving is because I had to go back to the regular wire. I had originally bought the wire with the lip mount, and I thought there would be a place up on the gutter system of the RV to kind of like attach this, but there wasn't, so I had to wait for the regular antenna. Alright, so again, as I said, this is also a giveaway video series. If you've watched part 1, you knew this video was coming. If you haven't watched part 1, I suggest you also do that. I'll link it here, and that video will also allow you to get entries towards the giveaway. Alright, so what are you going to get in the giveaway? Well, third place is going to receive a t-shirt, any size, your choice of color. Second place, you're going to get the X-Talker, up to 40-mile range, little handheld radios. So we have a set of these as well. These things are great. And then first place, you're going to get the MXT275 mobile radio that you can put into your Jeep, your car, your RV, anything you like. So those are your prizes. Alright, so as in video 1, throughout this video there'll be 3 questions relating to Midland Radios. So the way the contest works is if you leave a comment down below, you'll get 1 entry. If you leave a comment with the 3 answers, you'll get 2 entries. So, and the other way you can get entries is by following our Instagram accounts and also going onto the giveaway posts on those pages, following the rules and entering on there, so you'll get additional entries. If you have any questions about the contest, please leave a comment down below. And the contest drawing will be on September 30th. So it'll approximately be 2 weeks following the release of this video. So September 30th, I will do the drawing, and then I will post the video of the results. Alright, so the MXT400, it's a full 40-watt radio. I went over this in part 1, so I'm just going to quickly go through it. It's got 8 repeater channels for increased communication range. There's 15 high-powered GMRS channels, 142 privacy codes. So along with all the channels, the privacy codes, you can have pretty much your own private channel. It's got silent operation, channel scan, programmable squelch, keypad lock, monitor mode. You can change the tones on the radio. Obviously the volume, you can make it go up and down. It's got a backlit display, so that way you can always see the screen. And it's compatible with all of Midland's FRS and GMRS radios. So if you have a 40-watt radio, you can still talk to a 15-watt radio, and so far. Obviously you do need an antenna for the mobile radios to work, so not included. Actually, whoever wins the mobile, I'm going to throw this in, and maybe it'll work with your vehicle. If not, then you could pass it on to somebody else. But obviously I can't use this, so I'm going to throw this in with the mobile radio. Alright, so the MXT400 boasts a 65-mile range, line of sight, no obstructions. It's 15 to 20 miles with a little bit of obstructions, and urban areas is about like 5 to 10 miles. So that's really good if you compare that to CB radio, which is under best conditions 1 to 2 mile range. I don't think I've ever gone that high, even line of sight on the highway while I was talking to my buddy driving his Jeep. I think the most we got was maybe half a mile, and both ours were tuned with good antennas. And that's another thing. The GMRS radios, the FRS radios, you don't have to tune the antenna like you do have to do with CBs. So that is really great. It's just turn it on, they work. All right, so there's a couple of things about this install. I've went ahead and done a few items just because I actually spent about 4 or 5 hours going through the RV, figuring out where to run my power lines, where I was going to put my antenna. So I figured all of that out, and then I went yesterday and I ran my power line. So I'm going to show you how I ran my power to the battery, where it comes out in my RV. That's one of the things. If you do put it in your RV, you're going to have to do some research and find out what's the best way to run your power. My manual for the RV said there was a CB wire already in the wiring harness under the dash, and I looked for about 30 minutes and I couldn't find it. So I don't know if the previous owners already tapped into those wires and then used it for something else and tucked it away, but I couldn't find them. So I ran my power and my ground all the way back to the battery, and then I haven't hooked it up yet. I'll wait till I connect the radio. So a couple of things that I need for this install. One is that because that lip mount antenna didn't work, I found on Amazon this pretty cool pressure mount, and it works by mounting on a lip as well. And it's got like a bike quick release, and you can adjust the tension on this to fit what kind of space or what you're going to put on here. And then it's got this adjustable mount here. So I'm going to modify this. I don't need this whole setup. It's just going to go here on this side, and then my antenna is going to mount right on top of there. So I'm going to show you where I'm putting that on the RV. The other thing I still have to do is I still have to drill a hole in the side of the RV, and for that I picked this up. It's off of Amazon. I'll link to it down below, but it's basically got a cable gland built in, and it's for solar applications. So you run the wire through here, and then obviously this cinches down and keeps it watertight. I got some silicone sealant to apply here, and then I'm going to use this RV, what is it, Eternabond tape, just to go around the outside edges of this to make sure it's super watertight, because I don't want any water getting in. So that's the plan for that. And the other thing, obviously, I need a drill to drill the hole. My wiring is all set. I'm just going to go quickly through and show you how I ran the power, where I connected everything, and where I'm going to put the CB, and then we'll go out on the ladder. I'll show you where I'm putting the antenna, drill through, and we'll run everything. All right, so that was a lot of talking. Stay tuned, let's get going, and don't forget there'll be 3 questions through this video, so keep watching so that way you can earn an extra entry. All right, let's go. All right, so a couple of things that I did to prep for this install is I took off this cowling right here, and I saw that they had already done some wiring up through here, so that's where I'm going to bring my antenna. Wire is going to come down through here. The CB radio I'm actually going to mount right here, and then I have my power already run down underneath the dash. You can see there's butt connectors, and I actually found, well, going through the RV and stuff, I had a gasket back here where there was wiring run down underneath the RV, so that's what I went through. So it's a rubber gasket, and then I'll show you underneath. Alright, so here underneath, the wires came out of this gasket. It's right here. I have the wire covered in loom, and it's this blue stripe loom here, and I pretty much just ran it right across that frame to the other side, and then I brought it down and into the footwell where my batteries are. All right, so there's my wires, there's the loom. So the green is my negative because I didn't have black. I had green wire laying around, so that's what I'm using that. And there's my red for my power. I'll hook that up once I make all the connections to the radio. All right, so in the MXT400 box, you have your instructions, and there's a quick start guide, so make sure you read through those so you can get your radio up and running. Nice little sticker. Thank you, Midland. Here's the radio with the power connection, so it's a nice easy click, and then it has another fuse here on this side. So that radio is going to go over here. See, obviously you have your mounting bracket. Here's your mic. And you have your clip for your mic, and then all of your mounting hardware. And they actually give you also 2 extra fuses, which is really good. So I'll keep those handy, keep them in the RV in case we blow a fuse. Alright, so first things first, I'm going to drill a hole inside into the RV, and it's going to come right through there, and then I'm going to run the antenna cable down there. Alright, so here's the hole. I already pre-marked it, actually the marking. I'm going to drill right there. Here's my mount, so you can see I modified it. I put the mount here facing forward, and then I actually found a great spot, which is this little cowling right here where I'm going to mount it. I did think I was going to mount it on here on this lip, but it doesn't actually really fit that great. So I'm going to mount this right here, right there. And the great thing about this pressure clip, just pop that down and it's locked in. So that's really nice. So I think this thing was like 20 bucks. I'll link it on Amazon. It's really awesome. And now we're just going to drill into that. Oh. Oi. Alright, so I'm gonna run my cable through there, and then once I run my cable through there, I'll fill this with silicone, and then obviously my cable gland will be sitting on top of this. And then I'm gonna run my cable down here to the antenna is gonna mount on here. Alright, there's the hole. You can see the light, and there's my cable, the antenna cable. I can just pull that through. You can see it moving. There it is. Alright, let's see if I can throw this down here right now. Alright, so here it is. I brought it down through that hole. Obviously, I don't really need much to come through. It's just enough to come out this cowling. I'll cover this back up, and then it's going to run right back here to the antenna. And don't forget, the best thing about this, you can see the Midland antenna allows you to release, take off the end cap that screws into the back of the radio, so that way you can pass this through this tiny hole. Alright, I'll be back. Alright, so first question about the Midland MXT400, which is being featured in this installation in our RV. what is the max distance that these radios this radio can communicate line of sight with no obstruction? That's your first question. All right, so here you can see I have my antenna cable run through the hole. It's passing through the cable gland, and then here is the antenna mounted up. So I'm just going to apply some silicone adhesive. I got this from the hardware store. I'm just going to fill in this hole, and then I'm just going to put a bead around the back here and then place this on. I'm going to have it situated like so, and then I'm going to get the RV Endura tape and just tape around this whole thing. All right, there it is, all done, taped up with the Endura Bond permanent tape thing stuff. So I lock this down, and then here's my little cable run right to my antenna. So I think it looks really good. All right, now just to go inside and finish it off. All right, so I connected my antenna line to the radio. I'm just gonna leave this loose for now, just so I can see where I position it when I mount the radio. I've mounted my bracket. Obviously it's not hanging, so it's flipped upside down. Okay. All right, so here's the whole setup. I mounted my mic clip right down here, so that's good. I can still access my controls down here. So here's the radio. Obviously there's the power, and my window still opens and closes. And then all I have to do now is just, I'm gonna bundle this up, zip tie it up inside the dash, and then that'll be all clean. And then once I do that, I'm gonna go over and hook up the positive and negative to the battery, and then we'll come back and we'll turn on the radio and see if it works. All right, so before we do all of that, question number 2 on the MXT400. This is for your extra entry. How many privacy codes does this radio feature? So question number 2, how many radio codes does the MXT400 feature? All right. Okay, it's all hooked up. Now the big thing, test it to make sure it works. All right, so we're about to turn the radio on, but before we do that, here's the third and final question. What is the gain on the ghost antenna, and what is the gain on the whip antenna? So question 3 is 2 parts. What is the gain on the ghost antenna, and what is the gain on the whip antenna? And it's in decibels. All right, so let's go see if this thing turns on and give it a test. All right, so obviously the power button's right here on top. Let's see what happens. Oh, look at that. We got it. Channel 2, here's our volume, is all the way up. All right, let's see. It's a little bit of a mess because we're still figuring stuff out, but let's see if I got one of my handhelds. That was some feedback. Let's go back here. All right, it works. And on channel 2. All right. All right, so I'm just gonna clean everything up. I'll meet you back in the captain's chair, and we'll do a little recap of the install and of the giveaway. And then once this video comes out, which should be tomorrow, there'll be 14 days until a winner is drawn. Or actually 3 winners. All right. All right, what's going on, everybody? And that's it for this install of the Midland USA MXT400 GMRS radio. Everything went very smooth today, just because I did a lot of planning prior to finishing this install. So again, as I stated in the beginning, I spent probably quite a few days here and there while we were doing work here in the RV, just trying to figure out how to run the wires and what the best thing to do was as far as where to run the antenna cable out through the wall of the RV and where to mount the antenna. I'm really super impressed with that mounting clamp that I found on Amazon for the antenna mount. So yeah, that definitely gives us more versatility of where we were able to put that antenna, so I'm happy about that. And people might ask why I ran to the main battery of the RV. Is that I want to be able to still use the radio when the RV is off. We have a battery tender, so I can always put the battery tender on the main battery and just charge it up while it's sitting if we just run it down, but the radio doesn't really draw that much. So that's the reason why. So if the RV is at camp, we can still turn on the radio if we need to talk while we're out, if one of us goes out with the kids and exploring and, you know, stuff like that. Yeah, so I hope you watched through the video. There were 3 questions that I asked. That'll get you a second entry. So don't forget, you have to be subscribed to our YouTube channel. You have to leave a comment, and then in that comment leave the answers to the 3 questions, and then you'll get 2 entries. You'll also be able to get additional entries if you go to our Instagram pages. So those will be linked down below. So if you head over there, comment on the giveaway post on Instagram, and you'll get an extra entry as well. So the plan is that I should be able to edit this video tonight, and my goal is to get it posted tomorrow, and then there'll be 2 weeks, and then the drawing will be on September 30th once we get back from our next RV trip. So I just want to say big thanks to Midland USA for providing us these radios to use in the Jeep, the RV, and the handheld radios. Yeah, we're super stoked to partner with them. I'm excited to test out these radios and see how they perform. And later on, after we use them for a little while, we will do a comprehensive range test and go over more of their functionality. But this video is more of the install and for the giveaway. So if you have any questions about how I did the install, leave a comment down below. I'll answer as best I can. Thanks to everybody who's watched the first video for the install on the Jeep. Everybody who commented on that has been entered into the drawing. You still have time to comment on that video as well, and I've linked the card to that one at the beginning. Alright, that's it for this video. Today is Tuesday. Have a great rest of the week. Thank you to all our new subscribers for subscribing to our channel, and for everybody who's watching our videos and commenting and hitting thumbs up. It's really appreciated. And we have a lot of stuff going on. We have a garage sale coming up this weekend, and then we're going on an RV trip. So we're trying to work on downsizing all of our crap out of our house, with the ultimate goal of listing the house soon. All right. See you on the next video.